Hi Rollers, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to let you know that in today's video I will be participating in the 5 under $5 challenge. I'll give you more information on that later on in the video. So with all that being said, let's get rolling into the video. Alright guys, I am so sorry to let you know that when I started this video I thought I was recording and completely realized later on towards the end that my camera was not recording. So, but I made a mistake and we are going to redo the bottom because my chalk paste lifted at the end and I still have to do the stars on the top. So what we're doing is we got to round this from the 5-quarter store, and I sanded it and painted it with a DIY paint called Tarnished Pearl, and then I used a bare decorative finish. Now I stated earlier that everything in today's challenge will actually cost me $0 because I already owned everything that I'll be using in the video. So one of the reasons I wanted to participate in this DIY was because I have a lot of material that's sitting in my craft space. It's all sitting in my craft space, and since I redid my craft room, I really needed to de-stash, and this playlist will be a great way for me to do that. Now, going back to this mistake that I did, that I realized that I was not recording, this playlist again will help me be able to go through all my materials and not let stuff go to waste unnecessarily. So we're going to go back. I have stuff that the stencil is drying, but we'll be able to go back and use it and do the bottom of this. So let me show you again. So I have the bottom that's going to say Christmas on here. Now for this playlist for October, it is going to be Christmas themed, and hence that's why you see the little Christmas trees. So far it's looking gorgeous. So I did use my shimmer rose gold, and I'm using also black velvet, and I also did use shimmer shadow. Actually, you'll probably be able to see the name better, or maybe not. Shimmer shadow. Now for my chalk paste, I did put the labels on the side, and then I also used shimmer eucalyptus. But I'll be able to go ahead and do the labels, the stars on the top. So what I'm going to do, I have 3 stars. I think I'm just going to randomly put the stars on here because I have no idea. I'm not going to overthink it. I know my shirt says overthinker. I'm a professional overthinker. I think I'm going to do 1 star at a time because otherwise it looks weird. It's going to be a little kind of hard to be able to position it. And I think I'm going to do the middle star first because it might be easier. So for this black one, I think I'm going to use the rose gold. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the rose gold for this one. And I think this one's still wet enough that I can use. And what I'm going to do is actually switch to this smaller piece. And gives me a little more detail. And then with the chalk, I just need to scrub this excess off and then take it off. And look how pretty it is. It's not on there perfectly because it was actually kind of hard to see where I was putting it at. Alright, so then I'll just wipe this off. I'll just grab a wet wipe off of this thing. Wipe this off. Alright, so then we're going to do the other side. And put that one both here. Right there, and I think that one, black. It has to be black, right? Because it's eucalyptus in there. I think I still had. just make sure this one doesn't have anything on here, the stick. And then just grab a little of this black. Not a lot, doesn't need a lot. And then just paste it on there. And then take the excess off. And let my stick off. And there's the reveal of that one. Okay. Now, for the last one, this one's going to be eucalyptus. And that one, I still have some on this one that I used earlier. Make sure there's nothing. Hopefully it hasn't dried too much. But I can just take some off. Yep. Still have some on there. Wipe that off. Okay. And then just lift that off. There we go. And that's it for those stars. And then once my other piece is dry, we're just going to come in and put Merry Christmas is going to go at the bottom, and that's just going to be with a basic black. So let's close this up so it doesn't dry up, I should say. Make sure. And these come with my monthly subscription that Cricut mails me every month. And I think that's $19.99, but I think now the subscription has changed. Not the price, but I think they send you like surfaces that you can use. But what do you guys think so far? Maybe if it's not crooked, right? All right, so I don't think I want a ribbon up here because honestly I think the stars are enough. Let me check. What else do I want to do? Let me go check on that surface and I will be right back. Alright, so I've grabbed my stencil, my Cricut stencil, and while it was drying, I went ahead and picked out a couple of bows. Now, I've said on my channel before I'm not the best bow maker, so I tend to try my best to get bows pre-made. I'm trying to realign this as best as possible. So that, this will come out as best as close to where it was already. Let's see. I'm gonna bring it closer to me so that I can see what I'm doing. That looks about right. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and bring out the black. One of these squeegee thingies. I'm going to squeeze out some black out. I don't need too much actually. Just a tinge. Just a tinge. Don't need a lot. Grab that out. And put some on the back side. Wipe off the excess, scrunching it off, and then we're just going to reveal that. And there we go. Now with that piece that's on there, I'm just going to wipe this off. There's my Merry Christmas, nice and pretty and crisp. Much better. Okay. Now, let me wipe this off my mat so that I don't make any more of a mess. Put that in there. All right. Alright, so now that's done. Came out much better. The first time it dried, even though I lifted up, it dried on my Merry Christmas and it smudged and lifted up everything. Now, my biggest thing was trying to figure out, I've been sitting here trying to figure out what should I do for the top. Should I put a bow on here? Should I leave it plain? What do you guys think? So comment below and let me know. Should I do something? I was thinking about this one on here and then maybe just cutting off the tail. Then I was like, the colors just aren't, I'm not feeling the color. I was like, nah. And I was like, well, maybe the black, now that I got the black on here, but then this is too small. But let me know in the comments how you guys think, and let me know if you like any of these bows. And if you do, let me know which one do you guys like. So like this one. And I could always just trim the tail and make it look a little bit better. Let me see. There's that one. And if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and then whichever one that we all decide as a community, I will post the final picture on Instagram so that you can see what it looks like at the end. But if we can't decide, I might just let my kiddos pick the final bow. Let's see, this one goes this way. Or if you guys think I should just make a bow, not a bow like this, but maybe even a what do I call it, rose bows, which is basically just a messy bow, which I will be showing you guys one later on. Look at this one. Actually, I kind of like this color. This one actually might work. What you guys think? Or this one, I don't know. Well, comment below. I'll show you all of them on here and let me know. But this is what it looks like. I'm actually happy that I used chocolate tour. I haven't used one in a long time. My daughter loves actually using it. That one or this one. But otherwise, this is the finished product. Well, semi-finished. Would you guys tell me which bow do you guys like out of all of these? Alright, let's go ahead and move on to our next DIY. Alright, so for this DIY, we're going to take one of the Dollar Tree house shadow boxes. I have the Nativity set, and then that I've already spray painted, and I stained this one. And then I have one of the it's a ornament, Christmas tree. Yeah, I think it's a Christmas tree ornament that came in a set from Walmart that I bought several years ago, and I knew I was going to DIY with it, but never got a chance to do so. And then this is a cardstock that came in one of the paper packs from Michael's, I think, from eons ago. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut this out so that it fits inside this, because we're going to do a nativity set, but I just want this part of it. So I want to trace it because I really just, like I said, I want the inside of it. But let's see, what am I going to use so that I can trace it and be able to see what I'm tracing? I think the pencil will be fine for this. Alright, so now I want most of the blue. Okay, so let's go ahead and trace. It's not going to be perfect. This might probably be a little bit bigger. Oh, my face was all in the way. I'm just going to bring it down to my level. bit. Let's try this. Now I will have to trim it. And I could have just as easily taken the box apart, but I didn't actually want to affect the integrity of the box. I wanted to leave it intact. And that's why I didn't take it apart. But if you wanted to redo this, you could of course take it apart and make it a little easier for you. That's completely up to you. Okay, so now that's done. Grab my scissors. Uh-oh. And I am going to now cut. This a little crooked. Now I'm going to need my glue stick here in a minute. So I'm going to cut just on the inside. And you guys know, if you've been on my channel, I say all the time that I suck at cutting. I say a kindergartner cuts better than I do. All the time. I tell my kids that too, so they already know. Don't ask me to cut nothing, because mama can't cut. I know that. So let me know in the comments if y'all feel any different, anybody feels the same way I do about cutting. Because it is not my area of specialization. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side because I can use that, the rest of that, for something else. Now, let's go ahead and see. Yeah, I did know I was going to have to trim that. So, this is where I blame my husband for that. He was like, no. See, from the back it does fit perfectly, but I knew that was going to happen. Because I was going on the outside. Now to get this is where I'm gonna be like, see, it's gonna get all wonky. Because your girl can't do this stuff correctly, but we're gonna be okay. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I gotta get a little bit more from the sides. Now it's going to be a deformed inside of the house. Okay. That's not bad. So now, see what I mean? See what I mean? Now I'm gonna be able to see the pieces on the inside, and see. I'm gonna see the edges, and that's gonna irk my nerves. No end. Let's fix the top. But we're gonna be okay. And besides, it's gonna be standing, so it shouldn't be too cumbersome. I think I took too much off of that corner. See? And I'm gonna have to do this over. Look at that. It's no problem. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna bother me, but I think because of the way I want it put together, you shouldn't be able to see that. It's gonna be standing. Because there's no other piece of this, and that's the only piece that I really liked out of this, and I don't have another one. I think it's gonna be lopsided. Alright, this is signature. It's like, why you got a lopsided house? Let me use this way. You got a lopsided house. Girl, why do you have a lopsided house? Yeah, I got a lopsided house. Yep, my house is lopsided. It's okay. I'm gonna, yes. Then I'm the one making the videos, and I'm like, you guys are supposed to be following my expertise, right? I don't even know what I'd be doing. I need my glue sticks. Okay, I couldn't find my glue sticks, but I found my Tombow mono dots. It works. It's the same. Actually, probably better than that. So we're gonna take the back of this. I'm still laughing at the fact that I'm gonna blame my husband for this whole project because it's lopsided. It's gonna be the man's fault. And if he watches this video, he's gonna be like, "Why are you blaming me for your wonkiness?" But it's okay. He's still at fault. All right. So this, you're just rolling it, and then it's actually a great tape. So it's just rolling it down and getting all the pieces in there, and then sliding it back in there. So let's slide this in here. Our little wonky little tree. House. And just putting it in there, and then just pushing it in. Since I got my little thing, let's get it out. See what I mean? But it's okay, since the way it's gonna go in, let's see. Just need this to sit right here in the corner. Because of the way that the nativity set is gonna be, it's going to be standing, so you shouldn't see the inside. I tell people, if you're all up in my mistakes, you might need to back up off my DIY. Alright, so this piece is going to go right here. Now, we're going to glue this one down. Now, I just spray painted this, so... Alright, so let's glue this down this way. Yeah, I think that's how I want it done. Now... this is a little lifted right here. So, what are we going to do? I need it flush down. I'm going to use our super gel glue because that's what I like to use if I'm not using wood glue. And I don't have hot glue out because I do want this really super flush. You can use either or. It's the same thing. So let's use this. Now I'm gonna have to pound this down because I don't think it's. Let's see. Yeah, it's ready. So I had it upside down already. Well, there we go. And I'm probably just going to put something weighted down on it because I really do need this to be flushed. The whole idea for this is basically I'm going to try my best to make this more of a 3D effect. Not with this part at least, but more with the Mary and Joseph and the baby and the 3 keys. Okay. So now that this is, lift this upside down. Okay, so let's lift this up. Alright, so, and the reason I didn't want to use wood hot glue is because I need to be able to have some time to put this where I need it to go. Alright, so there's that piece. And I need to find something to weigh this on here. And I think I'm just going to use... That might not be heavy enough. So let's find something that I can put inside of there and let it dry. Alright, so we're gonna sit this on here, and actually one of my best resources for things like this, I've got a weighted down book. Now we're just gonna wait for this to dry, and then we'll continue once I've got everything where I need it to go. let's see if this is all dried up. Should be. It's been okay. Looks like it is. All right, now let's see how I want to do this. I think I'm gonna put this in here. This is gonna go. Then I want to put this like this position, and then this is gonna go kind of like that, and then Mary's gonna go like this, and then the baby Jesus is gonna go in the middle. So it's gonna go something to that effect. So what we're gonna do is gonna go something like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue each piece individually, of course, right? I don't know why I said it like that, but let's glue the 3 kings in here. I want to glue it. I'm trying to make sure that I know I have the spacing. Gotta kind of, okay, let me put this right here. Only because I want to lean it so that you guys can see what I'm doing at the same time. All right, so let's see if I put this right here like that. All right, that looks good. Aha. All right, and then I put Joseph kind of like this. Does it go right there? If I put him right there? No, because then Mary won't have a spot. Let me see. I gotta talk to myself while I work. If I put him right there, and then I put her right there, and then the baby right there. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. You guys can't really see that well, but I think I like the positioning right about there. So let me go ahead and grab my glue. And I like this positioning perfectly. So let me grab my glue. And this way it's kind of anchored. And I can do 2 things. I can glue 2 things. I need to glue a little bit. Alright, so I'll put some glue. And then I touch that. So Lord knows if I'm going to have glue. I also do on my fingers. So that should be good right there. Okay. Perfecto. Once that's glued on there, it ain't going nowhere. Alright, so we're going to put him right there. I think he's going to look perfect right there. Alright, so let's get a little bit of glue on his bottom. Right there. And I think we're going to need some right here. And actually, let's get some right up here. And since I pop them up, that way, and if it doesn't touch, it's okay. I think, yeah. Okay. That worked out great. All right, so yeah, you guys can see it right there, and then Maria is going to go right here. But see, with her, I'm going to have to put something right there to hold her up. So that she can get through. Because let's see. She's going to go right here, and it's going to go right here. So I need to find something. Now I can glue everybody together. Let me find something. Let's see. If I put these in here, if I put this in here, that's what I like, but a little too big. Actually, let me grab. Alright, so I grabbed my bag of Jenga blocks. Let's see if I can use this to prop her up as I glue her down. And I think it might work. Let's see. I just want to see if I can. You guys think it'll work? No, it's not. It's not. This spacing is perfect, to be honest with you. It is. Wow. That actually worked. I have to put a couple in there. It's actually genius. Alright, let's try that. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I actually like it. Alright. I like it. Alright, so let's glue. The things you guys to do when you're DIYing. Alright, let's put that on there. And hopefully, hopefully it doesn't glue to my Jenga blocks, right? Because then we're gonna have a slight disaster. So I have to be very careful that it doesn't get to the back. Please. Because if it glues on there, right? I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get this off. Because we know that crazy glue is no joke. Alright, now, Bebe Jesus is probably gonna have to wait a little bit. No, I can't. If I push this over a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna get him in there. And he goes this way. Can I use any more Jenga blocks behind him? Let's try that. We're gonna roll with this. If I put him right there, that's too far forward. That's not what I want. But we can use him here. It's actually not where I want him. It's really not. Let's see. Let's improvise. I actually wanted him kind of right there. But is that the right spot? I need him a little more forward. Alright. If I angle the Jenga block, I think that'll work. It'll be okay. I'm trying to see. I think that'll work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put it right there because maybe I'll put Mary too. Yeah, I think that we're going to just put it right there because we need to glue this down. Yeah. I'm trying to look at in the camera to make sure that it's where I want it, and I think it'll be okay right there. All right. See, the thing is, I'm wearing a shirt that says Overthinker, and maybe that's why I'm over processing what I'm doing, because otherwise I just go for it. All right. Now, when I did this, I actually didn't paint the nativity set. I spray painted it only because I was doing another project, and I was actually spray painting the other project that I'm going to be doing on this DIY. And so since I decided to spray paint that, I went ahead and spray painted the nativity set as well. Now that was just me being lazy, so feel free to either spray paint this as I did, or paint it in any color that you want. I used white, but feel free to paint it in any other color as you wish. I just like white, and as I was saying, I believe works smarter not harder. Since I already put the white out, it worked perfectly. Now this is practically done. What I'm going to do now is we are going to let this dry. If I had my hot glue out, I would also go ahead and I would hot glue this up here. As I do not have my hot glue out, we're going to lay this flat since everything else is glued down. I am going to cut this off, and honestly, I should cover this. Now, I should be able to cut this off. Let me try that. This is a perfect cut. Only because I don't want that hole. But it doesn't, if it doesn't bother you, just leave the hole right there. I'm going to do that. And because now that's kind of uneven, we're going to push this around. But you can always leave the hole. It really didn't bother me, but I'm going to do that, and then we're going to cut this part off just to make it look a little more even. And then just to make it look a little more full. And we are going to glue this right on there. And let's see, I think that's one stick right there. Go right where it's going to make contact. And then let's wait for this to dry and then open this back. Alright, so it looks like everything should be dry now. So let's remove our little stabilizers just very gently and hope that we don't unhinge anything. Let's see the outcome of our little nativity set over here. I gotta be careful with this one because Daddy is in the back. He's at an angle. Okay, there we go. Aha! So let's put this back in here. And it looks like, oh, it looks so good because I'm looking at it on the side camera, side view. And it looks awesome, even with a little thing right there. Oh my gosh, I think it looks awesome. Silent night. And you can't even see our little, what do I call it? Happy accident. That is all that was. And that little background night scene. It looks fabulous. Let me know what you guys think. This little 3D effect. I love anything that's 3D. The little pop-up. Now, if you was to recreate this, you could always put Spanish moss, or even actually raffia would look better, because you know, the hay scene and things like that. I think if you took out some raffia pieces and put that in there, that would look stunning. Me, on the other hand, I'm actually not going to put anything on there because I really don't want anything in here. But oh my gosh, this looks stunning. I stained this piece with one of the Minwax stains and let it sit overnight, and that's all I did with this one. And I think it is gorgeous. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one, and we'll go ahead and start our next DIY. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start our next DIY. This one is actually one of the, slow that down, are the wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. And all I've done so far is I spray painted this, just like I did with one of our previous DIY, the one that I did with the Nativity set. Like I said, because I was already spray painting a different project. I think it was a pumpkin, so I spray painted everything, and then I took some Mod Podge and did the back, because we're going to actually take this candy cane cloth, also from the DT, that I've had in my stash forever and a day. Like I've said before, I was cleaning out my stash over the summer, my craft space, rearranging everything, destashing so many things, and I realized that I did need to get rid of a lot of supplies. So this playlist has been a blessing in disguise. So I have my heat press. This is one that I found on Amazon maybe a year ago, I don't remember, but I bought this one because it's a bigger space than the one from Cricut. So I'm just going to turn it on to 1. This one is very similar to the Cricut, except that it's bigger and it has 3 dots. So we're just going to turn it on to 1, because I think that should be enough, since this material, this wood, is a little thinner. So it's going to light up orange. There you see it. And then once it's ready to go, it'll turn green and it'll chime. Same as if you have the Cricut heat press, same thing. If you have the HTV Ron, they're all the same. Okay. So I have my heat pressing mat. This is one of the ones that my husband did for me. You've probably seen in my other videos that I use a smaller one. This is just a bigger surface. Alright, so let's open this up and see, and remove this, how I want the material to look underneath it. Now I've had these for a while, and I just bought them several years ago when they first came out, and just could never figure out how I wanted it to look, how I wanted to use it, because I mean, there's not much you can really do with these things. So there's a hole in there, but this playlist just kind of just forced me to bring something out. And because it's been in a spot where I was just like, oh, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna try to bring this up in a way that you guys can see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So this is the idea for that. And let me see, I think I'm gonna do just like this, so that the lines go just this way. I mean, I could go this way. I guess it's essentially the same thing, huh? This is depending on your eye. I think this will work. Alright, and when this is ready, I'm just going to take my iron. I'm going to put this to the side and just quickly iron out the wrinkles. My trash bin just fell. So before I started my video today, went to Starbucks, got me a quick matcha drink just to get started. And I'm actually, because of this little hole, or tear. I think I'm gonna flip it. Now that I see that, I reminded myself of that. Before I started ironing, we're gonna go and do this all over again. And the reason why I did the Mod Podge first and let it dry overnight is we're gonna do the heat press application, where you just have it reactivated by heat. Now, normally when I'm using cloth, I like the wet version. Apply the Mod Podge down, then do the Mod Podge on top of that, and apply the Mod Podge on top of your cloth. But I know a lot of people seem to be very interested in this method, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this method again. So this is what we're going to do. Now I am going to flip this upside down when I do this, because this is what I do want to see on here. So I need to make sure that I do that. I just want to make sure that this is not, the creases don't show. Hopefully. This is taking a bit longer. That's the only thing I don't like about this one, that it does take a little longer to heat up, but I'm assuming it is because that it's a bigger surface to heat up. But other than that, I do really like this one. Gives me much more surface to work with. And I think that that's going to be okay. Now, like I said, we are going to place it. I mean, for me, it doesn't really matter which way it goes. I think this is going to be fine. I'm not going to be overly picky about it, because I'm just going to go right just like that. So we're going to put it right here. Now, honestly, I have not really considered if I'm going to do anything else to it. I think I'm not something. The only problem with these signs is that there's nothing in here in the middle for the, I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't activate the Mod Podge at the bottom, that there's nothing in here in the middle for the P, and there's nothing in the middle for the A. So I should have thought about that, and I really didn't sit down and contemplate that. So something probably should go right here, and because it makes it look like it's incomplete. So while we do that, I need to, because this still hasn't warmed up yet, but it's not completed, it's not green yet. I wonder what I could do. Maybe a button. So there, it's finally chimed. So now, here we go. If I show you, bring you up there, now you can see that it is green right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this over and go ahead and get this glue on. Just go ahead and flatten that up and get this right under here. Now that's backwards. That doesn't make no sense what I just did, does it? That's what I want. So the wood goes on the bottom, and this goes on top of the wood. Right. What were you just thinking? Okay. Let me make sure I get this one here straight. I'm trying to make sure that you guys, let me see if I can zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see all of it. And you can see there's my drink. Alright. If I go this way, it'll be better. Yeah, that's better. And you can see more what I'm doing. Okay. So, let's flip it this way. Now I got the parchment paper. You don't have to use it, you can, but so for the purpose of this video, we're going to use it. I don't always use it, but. And then we're just going to move it and reactivate that Mod Podge on here. And we'll just take our time. Now, eventually I'm going to take the parchment paper off because I'm going to feel like I'm going to get better results without it on here. But let's see how this works. And yes, I will also be adding another layer of Mod Podge on top of the cloth, because I like mine to be very, very, stiff as a board, especially when I go to cut off the excess material. I need it to be, cardboard stiff. So that's going to be how I do mine. Now, if you don't like it like that, feel free to just cut it any which way you want and then go from there. Now let's check it to see if it appeared. It should have. But in our craft world, it doesn't always do what it wants to do, right? Now be very careful because it is going to be very hot. And see how some of that didn't, some of that didn't glue right there. So I'm just going to, without the parchment paper, because I'm done with it, for me at least, I'm going to just go very careful with the edges because it's got open pieces. And then we're going to slowly go back over. The corners are always going to be your most difficult parts. A lot better. Just check all the corners. Some corners right here, and this is why I always go back with a second coat, because sometimes I may have been a little non-liberal with my Mod Podge on the edges, and it doesn't apply very well. So I'm just pressing down a little bit more on these edges, on these corners at least. Now I'm going to go really hard right here. Again, this is why for wood, when applying cloth on wood, I prefer the more wet method. But you can, I would recommend for you to experiment with both to see which version you like best. And then you can just work with whichever one you find to be the easiest. Now this is what it looks like at the moment. I think it came out really pretty so far. Now, let's see if I still like how the corners look. Then we're gonna go. Now the corner on this ends are good. You're not lifting. Perfecto. Now, I am going to go ahead and do the cutting. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. I think it should be okay. Let's take this mat off because I need this to cool. It's gonna cool quicker on my glass mat. And I think I can go ahead and turn this off. So that's good. Alright, let's grab my mat. Now, of course, you can cut on the glass mat if you own a glass mat. I actually don't want to or like to, but that's on me. To each and every crafter, I'm actually going to cut a little close to my material for now, just to get most of the excess off. Actually, I should have placed this a little closer to the edge anyway. Then I wouldn't have wasted so much of it, right? So learn from my little goings on over here. You can tell I don't like cutting. I'm not very good at it, as I said. Alright, so that's done. Throw that over there. Alright, I'm just going to grab my finger cutter. Take that off. I wonder if I felt uncomfortable. Now, I'm just going to cut as close to this edge as possible. Now I'm getting a little bit of resistance. I think if I did what I planned on doing and using Mod Podge to stiffen it a little bit more, I wouldn't have much fraying on the end. So I'm getting a little fray, but I think it'll work. I could go a little closer, but we'll be okay. See, all this fraying wouldn't happen right there. But it's gonna be okay. I'm still gonna go back in with a little extra Mod Podge. Get a little closer here. Now, I might have some buttons laying around. Goodness gracious, only knows where. Or some acorns, maybe? I don't know. But I might add to this. What's funny is I never pre-plan some of this stuff that I make. When I'm on camera, I never know what I'm going to add. So a lot of times I don't know until I'm on here making it with you guys. I'm definitely going to add another coat of Mod Podge, but I'll do that off camera. And let me close this. Cap this. And then let's see if I can find something that's going to make my eye happy for this P and this A, because it is bothering me that it doesn't look like a P and an A. Let me see what I can do for that. Alright, so I changed my mind, of course. Let's go ahead and do the Maji Podging on the back, because I need to add a, what's it called? A jute twine to hang this up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this really quickly. And we can cue in some music while I do that. So you guys can just see how this works. Okay, that's all done. Now that'll just dry overnight. Let's clean up the inside a little bit. Although it'll clear, it'll dry clear, but that looks so gunky. I'll do this. And there you go. That's how that looks. Alright, so that. And if I need to cut any more on the edges, I can do that as well. But I think that frayedness right there looks good. Alright, so what I also did was I brought in a jar of wood Christmas pieces. As usual, I'm always making a mess. So I'm going to see what pieces. And look at that. The star fell in right where I needed it to, right? I don't know if I'm going to like that, but let's see. It's actually too big. Yeah, that's too big. So I bought this. That actually doesn't look bad. Let's see what else we got. That one's a little different. This one is a little smaller. Actually, like that one. I'll bring you guys in a little closer. Actually, I think I like this one. better than I like this one. Let me see if I put this one in there. Actually, this one has a broken piece. I don't think you really will notice. Okay, let me see. This one's in here just fine. Let's see if I put that one. Actually, I like having the two different stars. What do you guys think? Let me bring it up a little bit better. Actually, I like having the two different stars, snowflakes in there, because it gives you, snowflakes are different anyway. And then what I also did was I grabbed a Copic marker, because for little details like this, having any kind of alcohol marker is great for coloring small wood pieces like this. So then I was thinking, let me see, this is the tip that I want. This one might be dry actually. Oh, this is not going to be a good tip. And this one's not good, so I gotta replace that marker. So let's grab another color. This one should be good too. I think a lot of my markers are drying out because I haven't used my Copics in quite a while. Alright, I think this one works. Let's see. Yeah. But then I'm thinking, do I really want to color this? So let's try. I think I have another one of these. Let me make sure. Because in the event that I color it and I don't like it, I can just replace it. Is this one the same? It's not, but let's do this. So I'm using my Copics, but if you have any kind of alcohol marker, it's the same concept, so it doesn't have to be this specific brand. But for something this small and small details like this, alcohol markers are great. It's quick. You don't have to take out a paintbrush. You don't have any cleaning to do. So, Hoo-Hoo markers, Prisma markers, any kind of marker, as long as it's alcohol based. I've done this so many different times. Okay, so let's see if this will work. So this is just a test, and maybe if I had went with a lighter color, it might work. But I think leaving it natural, I would like it better. I think because it just doesn't detract from it. So I think I'm just gonna leave it in its natural state. This color doesn't really go well with it. Maybe if this one, the R46, would have been a better match. This one is just too dark anyway. But we are going to go back to our original idea and leave this one out, so that's a no-go. And put this one back in there because I can always flip it over. Go this way, and then this one. So what I'm going to do is grab my glue gun. I'm just going to put a couple dabs. Yes, I'm actually using my glue. My hot glue. Shocking. Shocking. So very shocking. I know, people. I know. We're always using hot glue. It's such a miracle. Okay. Got that one on there. But I will be using some jute twine in the back. So after that, I definitely get my hot glue gun anyway. It's okay. I'm still gonna be hot. Put some strings off, and there we have it. Okay. she stop fighting me. Okay. There it is. And let's flip this over because then we'll get some. I'm done. Alright, so let's pull off. I have my twine in this jar and I just drilled a hole at the top. And for some reason it still didn't, I still have so much that even with the hole I can't pull off enough. Alright, I think I don't want a whole lot. We're just going to use just about that much. I think that's good enough. And let's grab some scissors. Right about there. So the way this is supposed to work is just put it through there. And then eventually it's going to work. And then you're supposed to just pull it through. I think it's just the edge is just really sharp still, but you get the idea. Alright, so let's just make sure that I got this in the middle, like where I want it. And I think I still got too much, so we're gonna shorten this a little bit. And there seems just about right. And I think I'll be okay when I flip it over. I'm just going to put it where the P's are, if I can see. Just going to bring it really close. And I'm just going to put it on the outside of the letters. Outside of the P. I think that'll be fine. Let me make sure I still have like that idea. Come on, bring it up. Yeah. I think that's right. That's a good spot. These are already sticking down because the Mod Podge is still wet. Semi-wet. Okay. Is all in that way. Over here. Is that still Cricut? That's going to be happening right there. I'm going to add a little bit more. Something like this. Dangling down. And drive me up the wall. There. I know it's excess. It's extra. We gotta be extra. Okay. So that's done. And then a little extra stuff that I do. You don't have to do this. I am going to burn off all this extra. Now you guys be careful when you do it. All this extra frayiness, frizziness. There. Okay. Now I'm not going to be able to turn it over just yet. Because, well, I guess I can. There. I think that's good. Now we're gonna let it dry overnight, but this is all done. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one, and then we'll go ahead and start on our next DIY. But I think it came out pretty. Candy canes. All right, rollers, this video is part of an open playlist, 5 under $5 DIY challenge for Christmas decor. The 2 hosts for this month's challenge is Crafty Cove DIY and Farm Charm Chic. The guest host for this month is DIY from House to Home. I will list the playlist information in my description bar below this video, so go ahead and check out that information right after you finish watching my video. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and continue with our next DIY. Alright, so what I have done is I've brought back my Cricut stencil, and I have this, I think it's a frame of some sort, but it's ceramic, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Merry Christmas portion of this stencil, but I am going to grab some alcohol and a wipe. We are just going to clean it off. Just really quickly, make sure that it's nice and clean, and we're going to dry it off. Now this way, you'll be able to get ideas on how to use your Cricut stencils in more than one way. And do that. Alright, dry this off really nicely. Let's put the alcohol back. And then my plan is to just, like I was saying, we're just going to use Merry Christmas. I want to just put the Merry on top. Let's make sure that's taken off. I just want to put Merry on top and try to center it as much as possible, but then I was trying to decide if I should do Christmas first, you know, but this is sticking. So what I'm going to do is actually use this to just, I don't want it to keep sticking on here, and I don't really want, maybe if I flip it over I'll be able to get that on there. And just there. This way I'll be able to manage the stencil a little easier. So my goal is, I'm thinking, so I want to do, I'm trying to decide if I want to do Merry first and then Christmas, but I don't think it really matters. So let me bring this a little closer, and then we'll do Merry. And if we mess it up, it's okay, because since it's water-based, I can just take it off and redo it. And try to center it as much as possible. And then get it added to the top as much as we can. There. It's kind of hard to see there. That'll work. Okay, we got it right there. And I'm just going to use black. This is actually from Magnolia Design. I thought it was open. Let's see, I think I have a black that's already open, so let me just grab that one. Alright, I'm just going to open one of these individual packets instead. So, I'm just going to cut this open, just a small opening, so I don't need a lot. And as I said before, I'm just going to squeeze a little bit onto my workspace. And again, like I said before, these small ones are the ones that come in your monthly subscription. So if you want to try out colors and designs, that's how you get these. Alright, so I'm going to grab some of this Now we're going to apply it on my Mary. Start down here. Make sure I get it all here and avoiding my Christmas. Make sure I get that all and then squeegeeing off all the excess. One word. Alright, I'm going to put this right here. Actually right there. And I'm going to lift this off, and the big reveal is usually the best part. Super sticky on this surface. That's a bleed. Might be the surface though. I probably just did it messy. Alright, so I'm going to put this right there for now. And then I'm actually going to use my heat gun because I want this to dry pretty quickly, so when I use the other side, that it doesn't mess it up. So here we go. So for the Christmas, I'm actually going to off-center it just a bit. I was thinking about that while I was drying it. And I'm gonna make it upside down, and then I'm not trying to get it perfectly on here. Now, if the bleed for the Mary bothers you, I'll show you how it looks. Now, if that bothers you, you can always just wet it, spray it down with some water, wet it, wipe it off, dry it, and start all over. But for me, it doesn't really matter because I don't want this to be perfect. I like the messiness of it, so that's why I'm leaving it like it is. Alright, so now let's go ahead and off-center this. And try to get it as much to the left as possible. To eyeball it from the bottom. It's kind of an odd angle. And then I'm gonna do is grab this squeegee and put it down. I think that was part of the reason why I bled the first one, because it wasn't down all the way, but it's okay. The good thing with chocolate tour is that once you make a mistake, it's easy to fix it moving forward. Alright, I think those are good. That one's good. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab some more of the paste and let's apply. Chocolate tour is very easy to work with. Very user friendly. My 11-year-old loves doing these, so that tells you how easy it is to work with. Alright, so let's go ahead and squeegee off this excess. And grab a wipe. I just have one on here, but not that one. So that's done, and I'm going to peel this off. And a little more space than intended, but a little off-centered. Well, not off-centered, but angled. That'll work. And then let's dry it off. Now, this one, I probably won't leave it to be placed like that. I might, you can always just set it down to be more of a trinket type thing. But for me, I usually have a little, my dining room table is where I put a lot of my things like this. So this was actually a perfect size item to do a tier tray. So I might just leave it like this for my tier tray. So let me know in the comments what you think about this one. You can actually do different colors for this word, or you can just, I could have used the trees and done it this way and taken off the little piece back here. So that would look very pretty as well. I might redo it if I change my mind. That's one of the good things with chocolate tour. Just change it up and make it different colors. Play with it and see what you guys think. But let me know in the comments what you think about this DIY. All right, let's go on and move to our very last one. All right, we are finally down to our very last DIY. All right, so this one is a Dollar Tree wood round that I have painted using Dixie Belle's Mason-Dixon gray paint. Now, like I stated at the beginning of this video, everything that I'm using on these DIYs are all materials that I've all owned within my craft stash. So that is why everything from me is costing me $0. Now, if it's anything that you don't have, don't feel pressed to go out and get them yourselves. Alright, so with that being said, I say this mainly because this DTF heat transfer, I got this on Amazon, I want to say last year, and it was a group of 14 sheets. I think it was, and it was probably $12, but like I said, it came in a group of 14 or 20 sheets at the time. So I am going to use this on here. I'm just going to heat press it on here, and let's see, we're going to find the center. I'm actually going to bring it down and cut it at the bottom because I wanted it to be more rounded so it could do what I wanted it to do. So we're going to put it in between the two circles, the two dots where I removed the, what is this called? The hanger. I'm going to bring it down. Actually, this is playing with my eye just a tiny bit, so I'm going to cut it a little more rounded. If you've been long enough, you know I am not the best at putting things. Okay, so you guys saw it because you probably don't get things perfectly either. So let's put this down so you guys can see what I'm doing. This is just my heat mat. We're gonna need that, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn. I'm actually using one of the Cricut heat presses, and I'm going to turn it on to 320, and we're going to do 15 seconds. Just so that can go ahead and start. And then once that's ready, getting ready, the light will be orange. The Cricut light will be orange, and then once that's ready, it'll turn green, but it'll chime first. Alright, so we got that getting ready on the side. And then let's get this bad boy right where I want it. And I only want that so that we can make sure that our ribbon is where it's going to be. Now I pre-did my ribbon, my messy bow, and I will have a video either showing up here or right after I do this, only because I didn't want to torture you guys while making this video of me making this, because I am not the best bow maker, but I love making messy bows, and it takes me a minute to figure out how I'm going to make my bows. Okay, so I think that is where I want that. That looks good to me, at least. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the color that I chose? See, there it is. Less glare. I think that looks perfect. And so it's good right there. I think I'm gonna leave it right there, because on the bottom we're going to do something else at the bottom, and I want this to have enough space right there. Now I'm going to adjust the bow a little bit more. I just needed it right where it is, and my heat press still has a few more degrees to go, and then we'll get that going. Alright, so our press is ready. Move this a little bit. I think I'm going to turn off the other light. I think I just made it worse. Alright, so there's so much glare today. Yeah, there's just a lot of glare today, but I think you guys can see. Alright, so I've got my heat press. I've just got, not my heat press, my Teflon sheet. Make sure I didn't move anything. Yep, just still where I want it. Alright, so we're going to put my smaller transfer sheet, Teflon sheet. We're going to make sure that this is exactly where I want it, and sit it down and hit the green light. I'm just going to add some pressure to it. I know, and it's rare that I use this heat presses, so I think it's probably the first time I've used this on my channel. Alright, let's go. I'm hoping that I got all the pieces. I tested it to make sure that it would fit perfectly, so I think it did. It's actually a Walmart peel. So, let's see. It's a cold peel. I don't remember. I haven't done. I think it's a cold peel. So we are going to flip it over and just let it cool off, and then we'll peel it off. Alright, it feels cool now to my touch. Wood does take a little longer to cool off for me. Alright, so let's start peeling back and see how it looks. I need to add a little bit more heat. That's easy enough. This one, I lifted it up too soon down at the bottom. I can remedy that here in a minute. That's why I can get a little impatient when I need to peel stuff off. I'm just going to try to go more at an angle. Turning. There's some problem there at the bottom. You can see that. It's okay. I'll fix that. But can't lift that up yet. So I'm going to grab our sheet, put it back, and then focus on the bottom area up here. Let's pull it off again. Alright, let's do this again. Slowly pull it back. See how the bottom did this time. The letters. And it's much better. See, if I had been patient and left it alone the first time, we wouldn't be reheating. There. Muy bien. Okay, so. Gorgeous. Alright, so we're not done. Let's go ahead and do I wanted to do now is add some snow. So let's go ahead and put all this heat stuff up. Really just throwing it behind me. And we're going to grab our pea pad. Let me turn off my press. Move it out of my way. Okay. So let's grab a pea pad really quickly. And we're not going to even need the whole thing. All we're going to do, put this down right here. And we need a little brush. Zoom you guys in just a tad. And then move this forward. And then we're going to grab just any old chalk white paint. Shake it up. I'm just going to put it up for you guys to see. I'm just going to stipple on. This mine is gunky, I know. I don't use this one that much, but we are just going to make some snow at the bottom. Just going around a little bit more. And now you can actually leave it like this if you want. So I probably shouldn't have gone that high up. And then, but I'm going to do from here. You can let it, leave it drying from here, but if you want, you won't make it glittery or anything like that. Leave it right there, or once the paint is dry, this is just a full snow from Dollar Tree. You can actually add some Mod Podge to the paint, right? And then I should be able to just add a little bit of Mod Podge. Just like so. And just add that in. And make it a glittery mess. A full snow mess. Or you can just leave it at the first step that I did. If you don't have any snow, the full snow. That's just an added bonus if you do. I'm just going to add just a little bit. I don't need a whole bunch. Just add it in. That's just to give it a little bit of shine and depth, dimension, however you want to call it. And that's it. Put that away. Just let it dry just like it is. And then we're going to add the bow here in a minute. Once that dries some more, and then I'll probably add some Mod Podge on top of it just to seal it, but I need this layer to dry first before I add any more Mod Podge to that. So just wait for that. Alright, I think it's dry enough now, and we can go ahead and apply our second coat of Mod Podge. And what I'm going to do is, actually we're going to put a piece, not a piece, I'm just going to put a little bit on the side on my glass, and that, and then we're going to layer it on here this way. can't see the Mod Podge on the side. I'm just dipping it into the paint into the puddle. I just noticed that it's outside the frame. Sorry. And all this is doing is just sealing in any other loose faux snow that's on here, just so that it doesn't flutter everywhere. Because this faux snow is almost like glitter. Well, it's not like glitter, but you know what I mean. Where glitter gets everywhere, the snow is going to get everywhere as well. And since I don't want that, I need to lock it in. And the Mod Podge is going to help me seal that in place. And it will pretty much dry clean. And I'll get the same shade. Now, if after this you want to add some more other faux snow, you can go ahead and do that. The first layer wasn't enough. But I'm not. I'm just going to leave it just as it is. Okay. That looks good to me. Let me just get the rest of the Mod Podge here. Which I can get it off my mat. Most of that dry. Wipe some of this gunk off. Yeah. There we have that. All right. All right. Mr. Snowies is dry-ish. So, let's go out a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and work on our little messy bow. Like I said, I'll have this shown up on how I did this bow. I got it as tight as possible. Yeah. And then we'll see about, it'll be probably showing up super duper fast, just to give you an idea of how to make a messy bow. Oh, at least how I did mine. Nothing super fancy. I think all of these were from my 5-quarter store as well. I think except for this one. This was on clearance at Hobby Lobby or fall, something like that. And I think I like the way this looks right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue to just that, just so that it don't stay put. Not very much. I just want to make sure that it stays where I want it to stay. And then we're going to cut it off. I'll leave it on there now. Just leave it on there just to tie it up. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit just to unframe, just to get the frame ends. Okay. That's it. Alright, so now we're going to bring it back around. I'm trying to get the glue off my fingers. Okay, so now I haven't dovetailed the ends or anything like that. I did originally, and then I realized it was too long. So I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to go ahead. Slide in the middle. I just want to see where I want it, and I think I'm going to put it. See, that should be right there in the middle. About there. And then after that, I'll go ahead and dovetail the pieces that I need. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now so that I have an idea. And for me, when I dovetail, I just simply fold it and I cut away. For me, watch them out and the picture doesn't work out. See, I knew that was going to happen. So I cut it on. So I'm going to bring this back to me. Fold it and then bring the end triangle towards you and then cut. I told you I was going to do it wrong the first time. Okay, now that's correct. And then it looks like the dove. So we're going to do it again. We're going to fold it. The piece that's folded, close end that's folded, I'm going to cut right away from it. And there's your triangle. So we're going to do that again, the rest of the way. Now these mesh ribbon, I'm not going to dovetail because I actually like the way it looks directly underneath the ribbon, straight. Actually, these are wider when you buy them. I cut them in half because I really like the way it looked thinner. Move this out of my way. And then now let's make sure that I like this. The length is okay. And then let's see if I need to cut it. Or what I'll probably do once it's on its spot, I'll just rearrange it a little bit more, fold it up, fluff it up, and all that pretty jazz stuff. Okay, I am going to place it right about there, so I can still see my snowies, my chillin', and I'll just bring these up a little bit. So I've got my location. Let me bring it up so I can see. To me it looks okay. I got my finger all in the glue. Okay, so that looks good for me. Got my mini little glue spot. Glue gun. Put a hefty amount on there. And then we're going to hold it down. And then we have it. I just want to hold it till it's good and ready. I'm just putting a good amount of pressure because I really want it to stay down. That's good. Now let me play with the ribbon because I want to be able to see some of my words. I'm going to curve this a little bit. Curve this a little bit. And this over. And I think that is going to be how that's going to look. Now, let's go ahead and put our twine back in there. Let me make sure that you can see this. I'm just going to put the hole right here. And it does have some paint. The tool and that spot. Put that back in there. There we go. Almost in there. Have to get a new one, and there we have it, and everything looks good to my liking. What do you guys think? Now this one, because this one's been a little difficult, I'm going to just put a dab of glue right on that one, and I think I'm going to do the same thing with the blue one, just because I want it to stay exactly where I'm placing it. I don't want it to move around. I want the words to be seen. I want to have them keep moving around. There we go. I think this one needs to be done just a little bit more. Another dab right there. Just playing with it. Okay, that's a little bit better. And then we're going to fluff this one up some more. See that one? And there she goes. Zoom you guys out a little bit more. I think she came out really pretty. Now these down here still have to dry a little bit more, but let me grab the rest of the DIYs that we did and let me know in the comments what you think about our last DIY. Here's a final look of all 5 of our DIYs for this month's 5 under $5 challenge. This is our peace sign, and then our beautiful Christmas round, Merry Christmas, done with chalk couture. Here's our other little trinket, Merry Christmas, just of course is a little bit Cricut, but hey, no judgment. Like we always say on this channel, I think it's still beautiful. By the time you put it down, I doubt anybody's gonna notice. It's a little secret. Alright, and this is my favorite, I think, of all of them. Our little nativity set right there. My daughter said she actually loved it, that I should put it as part of our little traditional nativity display. And here's our last one that we just finished. I'll probably have this up probably on my bathroom door. I don't even know. You guys know I don't ever know where I'm going to style anything if I use it in my home. Alright guys, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as you always know, remember to live life in full color. Bye.